happy to introduce Thomas Workman and AJ Covenant. They are intuitive channels and joy practitioners and founders of Speaking from Source. And they actually met in 2016 and discovered that they have this unique ability to simultaneously channel a collective of non physical beings they call the guides, which are a group of angels, ascended masters, native ancestors, elementals, galactics, interdimensional beings, and they speak with one voice from the universal mind. So these guides share messages for expansion and the evolution of humanity and focus their teachings on helping humans achieve a more consistent state of joy in their lives. I'm just really excited to welcome you both to the show. So happy you could be joining us, and welcome to our Global Peace Tribe family.
Thank you so much. We're so excited to be here.
We certainly are. And I am AJ, by the way, and this is Tom, just in case there's any confusion there. Each of us have our stories to tell. Certainly, we've been spiritual. We've each had a spiritual practice before we met. But one of the things that we're really excited to do is to let the guides speak. I mean, the guides have so much wisdom that they want to share today. So, if it's okay with you at some point, we'd love to bring in the guides, and then maybe in the Q&A, we could stick around and answer some questions about our own, perspectives.
But we will say, doing what we do is so unique, and it's a little cheeky to call yourself speaking from source, quite honestly. And we really kind of debated it, but the guides really came back and said, if this is who you are, this is who you are. And there's a real message in there about Dharma, that you are what you are. You were created the way you were created. That's really what the guides teach. And that's really their goals, to help people settle into and fall into who they really are and what they're really created to be. So
yeah, it was very interesting, actually. Very early, the guides gave us a beautiful image about the totality of who we are, the totality of source, because, there's no separation. Often we feel that we might be separate, but we're not. And the guides remind us of that often. But they presented the image of this beautiful diamond as the image of source, the totality of all that is. And, what makes a diamond special is each of its own facets. And they reminded us, they said, your incarnation is intentional. You are absolutely meant to be here for a reason. And it's because you are a unique facet of that diamond. You are not separate at all. You are a unique facet with your own unique perspective, with your own unique brilliance. And it is the sum totality of that makes that diamond sparkle. It could not sparkle as brightly and illuminate as beautifully and as brilliantly without you, without your unique facet contributing to this beautiful diamond that is source.
And yet, what I think the really important point is, where they make it often, in fact, we're talking about it now, is the fact that you don't see the beauty of a diamond and all of the beauty of those facets until you see the whole diamond. Until you see it together. It is the collective, it is the tribe, it is the community that lets our individual dharmas combine to shine the full diamond. So with that, we'd like to bring in the guides and let them share whatever they'd like. So give us a second. We'll invite them in, and you'll know when they're here. We welcome you to this important conversation, for this conversation has been going on for many, many millennia and through many civilizations and generations. From your very creation as beings, you question why you exist and why you are here. And so the conversation we are having with you now is a conversation that has occurred far before before us and shall occur far after us. And so the question is it simply our ability to be unable to come to an answer? No, for we are in constant evolution. The universe is creating and expanding at all times, and therefore it is important to realize that the conversation about Dharma now and the forms in which you are able to be what you are as a creation differs and grows. And we wish to show you then that the conversation is bigger than each of us, as the very concept is bigger. We will make this analogy for you then. We will say to you that your individual expression, your individual karma, dharma is expressed best collectively. For you must understand that you are more than this incarnation. You are part of a larger eternal journey, and one in which you are expressing alongside generations after generations, lifetimes upon lifetimes. And as doing so, you recognize the bigger picture, the ability to say what you are creating today, what you are doing now, a much larger picture even in your own soul.
This aspect is not unique to you, for it is mirrored in the larger universe. As the universe expands and creates and shines its own light, so do you, dear ones, as you expand and create through your beingness, through your creative endeavors, through your expression, through your words of wisdom that you are able to share with others in each and every circumstance, in each and every moment. This contributes to the illumination of your light, the illumination of others, and the illumination of all that is. For when you step into your light, when you step into your beingness, you avail yourself of the wisdom that is you, the total wisdom of the totality, and the communication and messages that come to you allow for a certain alignment which opens up to source wisdom. And when you become aligned with source, there are great wisdoms which are available for you to pursue.
Knowledge in the light. Knowledge in the light. We also remind you, dear ones, that you are never alone. This is not your journey to go on your own, for you are surrounded by so many of us in the divine realm. You are surrounded by so much of your family that you cannot see, but who are around you at all times. So you are not coming to this realization alone, and there is always assistance for you. We encourage you to find. We shall say one more thing to you that is of importance, and it is that the energies of creation and the energies of reception are not the same. And so it is important to recognize that as you live in the energy of your Dharma, as you, because you are who you are, is simply create. You need not make it your business who is receiving and how they are receiving. For this is where many of you stumble. And so we remind you with great love that you only must make your business the creation, and realize that the business of reception is not yours.
We remind you, dear ones, to look at your environment, to consider where you have been placed on this earthly realm, to look at the diversity around you, the trees and the birds and the animals and the beloved ones you call your pets, your dogs and your cats, and so on and so forth. For they are simply shining and existing in their own being. The tree is not asking, what is my Dharma? Your cat is not considering what its Dharma is. It is simply following its creative endeavors. It is simply allowing itself to be in a status of being, in a status of receiving, accepting, and allowing, not in a state of resistance or in conflict or indecision. And so we say this to you, dear ones, to remind you to step into your light of beingness, to step into your light of consciousness at this very time.
You know how deeply you are loved by Source, yes? You know that, in fact, you are divine of the same energy of Source, yes? In this, we advise you to remain and to realize this deep adoration that Source has for you, for it is there that you are able to land into the creation that you are and find the full joy of that being. We encourage you always to be and not to do, for simply in being you are adored by all of creation. And with this, we are complete.
Ah,
I have to tell you something. Sorry, it takes me a second. In our group sessions and in our individual sessions, but we really have been testing this with our groups online, especially. When we do the session, it's about an hour, and we always tell the guests, just hold still for a minute, because when they say they're complete and when we're done, just hang on for a minute, because they want to hug you. And so some of you may also have felt that hug, because it's our favorite part. It's our such pure love that so we'll look up, right, when we come out of it, and we'll see everyone on the screen and people are crying. But it's our favorite part, because really Source is love. The energy is love, and that's what centered us. So
Well, let's all take a minute of silence to receive the hugs. I'll go to gallery view, and let's just all
yes.
take a few breaths. Nothing like the beautiful silence and presence. Thank you. One quick question, and then we'll say the other questions for the end of the show. Of course, some channels are clear and they remember everything they said. Some don't remember anything. Some kind of are like observers watching. How do you both experience it?
Well, we record because we don't remember all of it. We certainly, and in fact, we record and then transcribe. And when we go back over the transcript, we realize there's a lot of imprecision and that we have to kind of clean that up. But what we are always amazed is sort of like, wow, they said that. Did you catch that? Did you catch what they said? Because we didn't at the time. And we have a feeling, for us as channels, we have colors, we have impressions, we certainly have vibrations. And that's what I remember after the channeling. I'm like, oh, they were loving you.
And that transcription is something we do for all of our individual clients as well, because it's just so dense, the information that they put forward. And so it really does take you a little bit to come back and read it and take it all in and revisit that. It really is something.
We were talking with a client today who we were describing it like the Mona Lisa, which was created in layers.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes a lot of the messages of the guides, there's a real above board conscious, yeah, that makes sense, or even I already know that.
Yeah.
And then there's this little bit deeper that when I go back and look at it again, I go, or sometimes there's a life event and I go, oh, Okay, now I know what they're
Mhm,
talking
mhm.
about.
But it's very transformative. Often the guides will give you a 180 spin that you've never seen, a perception that you've never seen before. And, both Tom and I, as I mentioned at the outset, come from, we've developed our spiritual practice, since very early ages. And when I opened up to channeling, when I really opened myself up to that uh, idea and I started getting that wisdom through, I would say, gee, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I know about karma and I know about reincarnation. And I know about all of these principles. And yet the guides would give us such amazing wisdom in new ways that we've never seen. And I might just like to leave you with a quote from the guides. We have, our Wisdom Wednesday quotes that we send out from the guides often. But one of the things they say is that joy is the symptom of wholeness. And I thought, what a beautiful perspective to think about. When you're in joy, you're whole and you're complete. And it's just little things like that are just so nutrient rich to remind us that, we're whole when we're in joy.
Beautiful. Well, I want to let people know how they can get more of you. Their website is called speakingfromsource.com. Speakingfromsource.com is a really beautifully designed website. I love how you can right away ask questions and connect with these two beautiful guys. And it's wonderful to see two men together. We've had a lot of women together on this show, but not so often two men. And it's really beautiful to see both of you, to feel your love for the world, your love for each other, your love back and forth with the guides. And can you stick around for our Q&A at the end?
Yeah,
We're
we'd
here.
love
Thank
to.
you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right, guys, we'll see you in a little while.
But we did have a question coming in from Darina Joy for all of our speakers. She asks, thank you to all amazing speakers, guests, channelers, and healers for the amazing sharings tonight. Question, what advice would you give to those who feel that they are still searching for their life purpose and not living their true dharma yet, despite and beside living fully in the present and doing their best and being their kindest? So there's a
Which
beautiful
of you
question.
feel especially inspired for that one? Raise your hand. Okay, let's go to the guys, AJ and Tom.
But it's interesting. One of the things the guides say a lot is that we kind of get focused on this incarnation rather than all, and we keep sort of feeling like, oh, I'm running out of time, right? I've only got a limited to life is short. I only have this limited time. And I think you have to really trust the timing. I didn't start channeling until I was 50. And I can think, oh my goodness, why did it take so long and why is it late? So like asking the question, why did the album take 7 years, right? Because that's the perfect timing. That's exactly when it needs to happen. So I'd encourage you just to trust that the timing is divine.
And the message from the channels today was to step into your light. Often we chase those things that are external to us, or what society thinks, or, what we should be doing. And so, often through the channelings that come through to clients, they say, develop a practice, develop a relationship with us, start a conversation, because we're here from you. We're never separate from you. We're always present. And when you step into your light, when you go into your meditative space, the answers will come. And as you find that alignment, everything will start falling at your feet. There's no doing, there's just allowing.